In this section, we're going to consider a little more about the Prophet Muhammad. May the peace, blessings and mercy of Allah be upon him. So, Muslims believe that God, Allah, sent different messengers to humanity throughout the ages, all with similar teachings, confirming the belief of the oneness of God. These prophets are the same as those revered in Judaism and Christianity, and include Noah, Moses, Isaac, Jacob and David, peace be upon them all. Jesus, peace be upon him, is mentioned by name 23 times in the Quran, and there is a whole chapter on Mary, the mother of Jesus, peace be upon him.
Islam began in the Arabian Peninsula in the 6th century AD, at a time when the region was a melting pot of different religious beliefs. The previous God's revelation of Judaism and Christianity still existed, but for the most part they were dominated by the cults and the tribal gods that indulged in many barbaric practices. Over time, people misinterpreted and misunderstood many of the revelations, and many strayed from the belief of Allah, so Allah sent another messenger to guide them to the straight path.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born in Mecca, in the region now known as Saudi Arabia, in 570 AD. At the age of 25, he married a widow named Khadija, who was 15 years his senior and who employed him as a trading agent. Muhammad, peace be upon him, would periodically retreat to a nearby cave called Hira to meditate. It was at the age of 40, during one of these meditative retreats, that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was visited by the angel Gabriel. Gabriel appeared to him and said Iqra, which in Arabic means read. Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that he could not read, and this was the beginning of the first revelation of the Quran. Initially, he shared the messages with his family and friends, and then, over time, he began to meet daily with a growing circle of people to share the message of Islam.
A major part of Muhammad's, peace be upon him, mission was devoted to ending the vicious cycle of murder and warfare perpetrated by pre-Islamic tribes that were engaged in bitter blood feuds. Muhammad's, peace be upon him, his message was faced with opposition, forcing him to migrate to a place called Medina. This town is some 400 kilometres north of Mecca. This migration, known as the Hijra, marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar.
Following a period of intense conflict, Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers returned to Mecca, and Islam started to spread, bringing peace, tranquility, companionship, and above all the belief of the oneness of God. Muhammad, peace be upon him, died in Medina in 632 AD, leaving no male heir.
Muslims believe that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was chosen by Allah as the last and final prophet and messenger to the whole of humanity, to deliver the message of peace known as Islam. Muslims do not worship Muhammad, peace be upon him. They follow his teachings, sayings, and his example way of life known as Sunnah. Only Allah is to be worshipped. The message of Allah was recorded in the Quran, just as the previous revelations of Allah to mankind by way of the Torah, Psalms of David, and the Gospel. The Quran is considered to be the exact words of Allah revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, through the angel Gabriel over a period of 23 years. The language of the Quran is Arabic. The Quran contains 114 chapters, and these chapters are known as surah.
In addition to the Quran, the sayings and practical guidance offered by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, were compiled and collected shortly after he died. They are known as Hadith. The Quran and Hadith provide Muslims a comprehensive and practical guide to daily living.